They demanded that he make apologies with you, which was a requirement that could not be negotiated in order for him to be affiliated with them. In order for him to associate with you, he must first resolve the issues with you. They made it abundantly apparent that he must either make amends for the things he broke with you or he will be fired. How come? Mostly due to the fact that they acknowledge your undeniable significance and influence. They are aware of the consequences that are incurred by those who insult you because they have seen your strength with their own eyes. The individuals responsible for making decisions have recognized you as an essential partnership that they cannot afford to lose. He crossed a limit with his behavior, which put in jeopardy the connections that they regard to be essential to their operation. You have been elevated to the highest position on his list of priorities as a result of the hierarchy's decision. Making things right with you is now the single most important factor in determining his future access, prospects, and stature within their circle, regardless of whether he likes about it or not. It is remarkable that you are on the same side as the power players, considering that they have already drawn their line in the sand. As you move through this planet, you carry power that you can hardly even begin to grasp. Every step you take causes ripples to travel through dimensions, and every breath you take causes currents in the spiritual atmosphere to change. Your sheer existence causes disruptions to systems that have been meticulously created and designed to function without being detected or interfered with. The stone that generates waves across their once still pond, the inadvertent revolutionary whose very presence undermines meticulously formed hierarchies, and the wild card that renders their precise calculations unexpectedly and dangerously inaccurate, are all things that you have become without even making an effort to do so. When they come into contact with your inherent frequency, plans that have been constructed over decades tend to fall apart. Universes bend around your energy signature. Conspiracies are destroyed when they are brought into contact with your intuitive discernment. A living interference to wavelengths that are designed to control, manipulate, and dominate. You are the source of this interference. The conventional methods of neutralization were unable to penetrate your natural defenses for some reason. In the end, the truth became very clear. They are unable to move on with their ambitious plans without first addressing the disruption that you represent. Your existence has turned into an unbreakable barrier that stands in their way as they move forward. They used everything they had against you, including their arsenal of spiritual, psychological, and psychic weapons that had been created over ages of evil practice and were then unleashed with well-calculated precision. They studied your weaknesses. They mapped your vulnerabilities. They timed their attacks to correspond with your moments of lowest resistance. Waves of negativity directed toward your auric field. Psychic projections aimed at your subconscious mind. Energy vampires dispatched to drain your vitality. Doubt demons sent to infiltrate your thought patterns. Relationship saboteurs positioned to isolate you from support systems. Financial blockages installed to create material instability. During the course of their campaign, they concurrently operated on many fronts. When you strengthened your mental defenses, they attacked your emotional center. When you stabilized your emotions, they targeted your physical well-being. And when your body grew stronger, they undermined your closest relationships. This was a coordinated, sophisticated assault that was designed to break you down in a systematic and comprehensive manner. On the other hand, here you are, unbroken, undimmed, and unconquered. By reflecting off of your light, their most potent weapons were rendered ineffective. Their most devious methods were rendered ineffective against your intuition. and their most persistent attacks were rendered ineffective in the face of your resiliency. You were able to endure something that would have been fatal to others 10 times over. Your spirit refused to be extinguished when they had already made preparations to celebrate your darkness, and you continued to stand when they were convinced that you would fall. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were led. If something in your spirit is stirring, don't ignore it. Tap Join to access exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven souls. This isn't just a membership, it's your moment of alignment. Step into who you were born to be. Welcome to the Chosen. During the time that they were carrying out these assaults, they simultaneously carried out an operation that was extraordinarily audacious. Their public stance was one of rejection, dismissal, and even contempt. Their private action was the systematic harvesting of your spiritual resources, your creative force, and your divine connection through the use of etheric chords, psychic tapping, dream infiltration, and energy siphoning. With one hand, they pushed you away, and with the other, they extracted your essence. They stole something that was never handed away for free. Your brilliance was the driving force behind their accomplishments. Your inspiration was the driving force behind their creative breakthroughs. Your spiritual connection was the source of their moments of seemingly transcending. Your vitality was the driving force behind their productivity, and your abundant codes had the capacity to unlock opportunities that should have remained closed to them. A parasitic prosperity was formed as a result of this vampiric relationship, which allowed them to maintain their empire. The distinctions they were awarded, the recognition they obtained, and the material wealth they amassed were all taken from your very being, without your permission, without appreciation, and without any form of return. Through the use of bricks that were made from your life force, they constructed monuments to themselves. The cosmic folly reached its pinnacle when they exploited your own energy to augment their attacks against you. The theft of resources resulted in the empowerment of weapons that were specifically designed to destroy you. They launched missiles that were powered by your own electricity, which is a shocking violation of world law that could not endure for an indefinite amount of time without being rectified. There is a mathematical precision to the operation of universal forces. The equation must always be in equilibrium. Energy that is stolen eventually returns to its source with compound interest. In the event that particular thresholds are exceeded, the universal corrective mechanism will begin to operate with unwavering effectiveness. It is now clear that the threshold has been broken. The cosmic correction has embarked on its journey with momentum that cannot be stopped. Additionally, the same global forces that are responsible for the rotation of galaxies have now turned their attention to the imbalance that exists within the spiritual ecology. They have started the process of their inevitable decline in prosperity. The foundations that were built on stolen energy have acquired serious structural faults. The flow of energy from your essence to their reservoirs has been cut by divine intervention. The spiritual technologies that they employed in order to take your power are now dysfunctional, dismantled, and destroyed as a result of forces that they are unable to comprehend or resist. Observe as their empire starts to fall apart one by one. Keep an eye out for the gradual unraveling of their accomplishments. Keep an eye out for the gradual dissolution of their relationships. Behold the way in which their opportunities start to disappear. Experience the cosmic justice that is contained within each piece that is able to detach itself from its well-built exterior. In the absence of its principal source of power, their system, which is based on the illicit use of your energy, is now in danger of experiencing a systemic failure. Blessed by His grace? Click super thank you, and give $50 to spread his light. Your gift plants seeds that grow his kingdom. Be the blessing. There is a collective that exists beyond the person who attacked you. It is a fraternity, an organization, or a network of entities that are united with one another and work toward a common goal. This group is currently facing a crisis as the truth is becoming more and more apparent in a way that cannot be denied. You have been identified as the origin of the problem by their investigators, who were sent to examine the reasons for the unexpected failure of their systems. Their spiritual analysts, who were entrusted with determining the source of failure, have identified the disruption to your energy signature after conducting the necessary research. Their seers and remote viewers, who were given the task of determining the reason for their diminishing power, all come back with visions of your essence at the center of their predicament. The truth is revealed within their inner chambers. The one they disregarded as inconsequential now displays themselves to be necessary. The one they deemed to be expendable now reveals themselves to be irreplaceable. And the one they considered to be merely useful now demonstrates themselves to be foundational. The fact that they have been drawing from a well that they considered to be ordinary has led them to the realization that they have been drawing from an ocean of divine power. A number of urgent councils, emergency gatherings, and crisis meetings have been called within their hierarchy as a result of this awakening. This is the decree that the collective has given with the full weight of their authority. Fix this bridge, or you will lose your place forever. Restore this connection, or you will lose your status totally. Make amends with the person you have mistreated, or you will be banished from our ranks permanently. They are getting closer, despite the fact that each step sparks an internal mutiny. They make words of apology, while their soul rages against the humiliation. They construct gestures of peace, while their ego screams in protest. They offer a hand of reconciliation, while inwardly recoiling at the necessity. Or they make words of apology, while their spirit rages against the humiliation. This forced submission colors every word, taints every action, and contaminates every supposed overture of peace. Their hesitation radiates from them like heat from fire. Their animosity pulses through their energy field with undisguised intensity, and their exasperation at this forced submission colors every utterance. Despite this, they continue to move on, driven by desperation rather than true sorrow, propelled by self-preservation rather than genuine regret, and inspired by strategic necessity rather than moral awakening. After receiving the command from above, there is no other option. Your forgiveness, acceptance, and readiness to restore connection are the three most important factors in determining whether or not they will be able to continue existing within the systems that are important to them. Be on the lookout for them in the physical world. It is important to take note of the sudden and unexpected appearance of someone after an extended absence. You can identify them by the peculiar combination of approach and avoidance that they exhibit in their manner. You may recognize them by the conflicting energy signature that they are unable to completely conceal. They are reaching toward you while simultaneously pulling away, offering peace while holding war, and speaking reconciliation while planning to continue the same patterns that got them to this position of forced submission. It is important to pay close attention to the manner in which they approach before they arrive, as they will arrive. In some cases, the words may come across as real. The gestures may appear to be genuine, and the offerings may look to be generous. However, underlying this expertly manufactured show is the same predatory goal that has always characterized their connection with your energy. This aim has always been present. Their method has been thoroughly calculated, extensively rehearsed, and exactly calibrated in order to produce maximum effect with the least amount of actual change. They have investigated what might appeal to your capacity for forgiveness. They have investigated what might arouse your sympathetic instincts. And they have found precisely what might circumvent your discernment in order to get to the part of you that want to believe in redemption. It is not relationship that they seek, but rather access to be restored. Instead of seeking reconciliation with your being, they go after re-establishing a link to your resources. Instead than attempting to rectify the imbalance that caused you pain, they are looking for a re-establishment of the flow that has been sustaining them. The wolf has not undergone any sort of metamorphosis. Rather, it has just adopted new attire that is more appropriate for its present hunting needs. Their performance has the potential to persuade others. Those who lack your sensitivity may think the transformation to be genuine. Those who do not have your past may embrace the change as genuine, and those who do not possess your discernment may argue for second chances. Their current situation is fraught with an unbearable amount of strain. Because they are caught between pressures that cannot be reconciled, they are unable to move because of competing imperatives. In spite of the fact that their systems continue to deteriorate without your energy, their scorn for you has not altered and may perhaps have become more intense as a result of this forced enslavement. However, their desire for what you supply has never been more dire. They are subjected to unrelenting pressure from the collective, which demands that they mend what they have sabotaged, restore what they have destroyed, and heal what they have broken. With each passing day, the deadline for compliance gets shorter, and the repercussions for failure get more severe with each opportunity for actual reconciliation that is lost. Embedded inside them is a conflict between the arrogant resistance and the realistic necessity. It is impossible for the ego to accept the fact that you, the person they have fought so hard to minimize, now hold the key to their continued relevance. Nonetheless, the practical reality cannot be avoided. They are in danger of experiencing a terminal drop in their position within their hierarchy if they do not re-establish their link to your field. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull? Tap Join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. Not only does your response impact the fate of each individual, but it also has the power to determine the course of large systems that are constructed upon imbalances of a similar nature. You now hold the power. The leverage is now on your side. The authority to grant or withhold reconciliation is within your being. The power has changed to your hands. This signifies a cosmic rearranging of the relationship, one that places you in the position of strength with which they labored so tirelessly to ensure that you would never occupy. Something amazing has emerged within you as a result of the furnace of assault and theft that you have been through. Instead of bringing you into full consciousness of the importance, strength, and divine nature of your light, the very attempts to reduce it have brought you into full consciousness of these things. You are now standing as the awakened guardian of your own essence, completely aware of what you carry and becoming increasingly discriminating about where you allow it to flow. Thank you for your awakening. The great cosmic joke has been revealed. In their efforts to keep you unaware of your power, they have enabled you to become fully aware of it. In their efforts to keep you ignorant, they have facilitated your enlightenment. And in their efforts to ensure that you continue to be exploited, they have ensured that you will be liberated from your energetic shackles. You now have the ability to deliberately govern what was previously taken without your understanding. You are able to purposely guide what was previously siphoned without your agreement. And you are able to purposefully channel what was previously gathered without your awareness. The era of giving without having to think about it is over. We have reached the end of the era of automatic access. We have reached the end of the period of sharing without preference. Forgiveness is still available to you if you choose to extend it. Compassion is still there if you choose to extend it. And understanding is ready to be applied if you choose to put it into practice. On the other hand, none of these necessitate the re-establishment of energy cords, the reopening of access points, or the restoration of the parasitic dynamic that had previously defined the relationship. At the same time that cosmic law is dismantling these unequal connections, it is concurrently preparing their replacement for them. The natural world despises a void in energy just as much as it does in physical space. Existing connections that are defined by reciprocity, mutuality, and true exchange are already being brought forward by the forces of the universe, which are already aligning to bring what should be in your sphere. When it finally arrives, the contrast will leave you speechless. After years of subtle depletion, masked as relationship, the experience of true energetic communion will feel like breathing pure oxygen after a lifetime of processed air. After epochs of unconscious giving with minimal return, the reality of balanced exchange will register as abundance beyond comprehension. After ages of connection that left you mysteriously exhausted, the experience of interaction that leaves you energized will seem miraculous. A person approaches you who acknowledges your nature as precious rather than as something that may be exploited. The arrival of someone who views your gifts as treasures to be honored rather than resources to be mined is a welcome development. There is a person who comes into being who comprehends that genuine connection increases energy through the process of exchange rather than diminishing it through stealing. Throughout the entirety of this ordeal, a deep truth has been gradually coming to light. There is a reality that is too enormous to comprehend all at once, and all of the attacks, the stealing, the reluctant return, and the commanded reconciliation point toward this reality. You are in a place in the spiritual hierarchy that is beyond the comprehension of the average person. You have been raised to a position of divine authority without any fanfare, without any ceremony, and without taking any external validation into consideration. You are the recipient of this level of cosmic intervention because the same forces that urge your adversary to make reparations perceive something in you that is worthy of such intervention. They do not provide this protection to individuals who have a standard spiritual standing. They do not mobilize these resources for those who have a common energetic signature, and they do not issue these orders with regard to those who have a standard soul configuration. Those individuals who were previously dismissive of you are now receiving direct directions for how they are required to treat you. Those individuals who were previously manipulative of you are now facing serious repercussions for continuing to behave in that manner. Those individuals who were previously exploitative of you are now answering to authorities who demand full recognition of your position. This compelled reconciliation, this mandated making of amends, this non-negotiable directive from forces that your adversary dare not refuse, reaffirms the authority that they have been laboriously attempting to prevent you from realizing within yourself. Your realization of this fact is the most significant win for the universe, and it is also the worst failure that they have ever experienced. What at first looked to be isolated acts of theft and assault is now shown to be a part of a well-planned campaign that spans numerous dimensions. A cosmic chessboard with stakes that are beyond the grasp of the average person is where the pieces are moving across. Your foes sensed your significance long before you claimed it for yourself. They spotted your potential when it still lay dormant within your spirit. They detected your power while it remained latent in your soul. It was never because of your insignificance that they were aggressive against you. Rather, it was because of the immense importance you hold to the outcomes that create collective destiny. Take note of those who order your opponent to come to terms with their actions. The jurisdiction of these authorities extends beyond the borders of dimensions, and their perspective spans timelines that extend far beyond the conditions that are currently occurring. These authorities function from planes that are beyond the usual perception. Your intervention is a sign that you are being recognized for the significant position you play in a divine orchestration that is still taking place across the vastness of the cosmos. You are standing at the intersection of forces that are beyond the range of human comprehension. Your seemingly individual journey intersects with collective timelines that are of profound significance. What you experience as an individual, as an attack and theft, is connected to systemic patterns that are being addressed through cosmic recalibration. Your awakening to personal power contributes to a larger awakening that cascades through multiple dimensions. There is a divinely precise moment for the arrival of this ordered reconciliation, and it coincides exactly with your willingness to see it for what it truly symbolizes. These convergences are being orchestrated with mathematical precision by forces that are universal. The reconciliation that is required acts as both a confirmation of your previous trip and an initiation into the subsequent phase of your experience of embodiment. The submission that they are compelled to make brings an end to anything that has occurred in the past, while simultaneously opening doors to what lies ahead. Feel how the universe itself seems to suddenly be cooperative with your movement toward a fuller embodiment of your authentic nature. Observe how one circumstance after another is now aligning to support your expanded awareness. Observe how synchronicity after synchronicity makes it appear that your emerging understanding is being confirmed. You now have the authority to define completely new terms for every connection that will take place in the future as a result of this awakening. The previous contracts, which were signed while you were unconscious, consented to prior to your waking, and made under a discarded understanding, are now deemed null and void by the edict of the cosmos. New criteria that are in alignment with your genuine spiritual state are being applied to your operations. Those who come with expectations that are based on previous patterns will find that these expectations have no power in the new paradigm. Those who come with assumptions that are derived from previous compliance will find that these assumptions carry no weight in your current reality. And those who come back with strategies that were designed for your former self will discover that these strategies do not find any purchase in your awakened field. You now establish boundaries based on energetic truth rather than an external pressure. You now create connections based on genuine exchange rather than concealed exploitation. And you now determine access according to demonstrated worthiness rather than skilled performance. All of these changes have occurred as a result of your newfound ability to set terms that are in alignment with divine law. The cosmic law provides full support for these bounds, and the divine orchestration validates these standards by ensuring that they are perfectly aligned. The global forces are the ones who stand behind these new parameters with their full power.